Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden on a really glorious late afternoon, and I've already announced it in one of my previous videos that I intend on doing a little garden tour only in the vegetable garden, and this is exactly what we're going to do today. I just want to tour you around a little bit and just show you how everything looks, because a lot of things look fabulous. They're ready for harvesting. I have my basket prepared and ready, so we're going to do a little tour. I'm going to show you some things, and then by the end of the video we will harvest a little bit for tonight's dinner. So I hope you are excited to join me in my veg plot today. Just in case if this is the first time you ever watch a video from our garden here, this is the back of the garden, the rear, and we're standing on the slope right now, and the slope is divided into two different areas. In my back there is roughly like 2/3 the size of the slope, and this is what I call my experimental cut flower garden. Everything is set up in terraces. In the middle there is a bench, which is really glorious in the afternoon, so we are already actually in the early evening by now. And then I have all different kind of perennials there, a lot of annuals now. I always want to keep it exciting, but today I want to focus on the side that is just in your back, and that is the vegetable garden. And the vegetable garden is set up in 3 different layers and terraces, and I just want to tour you through all different layers and start just with the top layer there, where we have 3 raised beds plus a little strip in the back there where I was planting already earlier on with you. So what I want to do is just give you a quick update on how things in general are looking. So you can tell there is like a nice even terrace here, and then I have 3 raised beds in a U shape. And this entire area is fully southwest facing, so south is pretty much in your back and west is just over there where the sun hits this entire area now. And that is ideal for growing most of the vegetables because they just need the full sun and the heat in order to produce really nice, good product. And this is what I already have here. A lot of the things I started off from seed, and I can already start harvesting, which means, for example, cauliflower, which I'm going to show you in a moment. I started off those seeds, I think 3 months ago, and from 3 months to now I have ripened vegetables, which is amazing. But that's going to happen in a moment. What you see here is the first raised bed, and this is where I grow most of my salad crops. So I had Roman salad here, I had like picking salad with dark leaves and with green leaves. I have some rocket in here that already starts to bulk up a little bit, and cilantro. This bed I started pretty early on in the year, and now you can tell the first salads here, they start to shoot up, they want to produce flowers. So we need to come in, start harvesting, and pretty much clear the bed within the next week or so. And what I do then is I come in with fresh garden soil, just fill it up again with more, also with some good organic bone chips, just for the for a good like starting fertilizer in the ground. And then I start with more salad in this flower bed or in this raised bed because it worked so extremely well. Then if you just walk with me here, the second raised bed, this is where I grow all of my chilies and bell peppers. Plus I have some containers standing in here that I try to protect from slug and snail attack. This is where I have all of my amaranth right now. And they are in this critical stage where they look nice, but if I put them in the landscape with this size, slugs and snails are going to come in and eat them with a blink of an eye. So I wait up until they have a 3rd set of top leaves, and then they are strong and robust enough to put them out in the landscape. But what isn't here is actually mainly this year. These are different kind of bell peppers. And then towards the back, I have some chilies, and that's very intriguing because I, for example, sow all of these from seed, and this chili is going to produce purple chilies. I've never seen it, I've never grown it. Even the leaves look very interesting with a dark variegation in there. And then these are like, I think they were named Fuego, like fire, red chilies, and they already start producing the first flower buds here. So very soon I'm going to see some blooms in here, which is really exciting. In general, I think chilies and bell peppers in the raised bed work extremely well. Then the third raised bed, here I was doing a little garden video together with you. I was sowing carrots in here because carrots in raised beds are ideal, because carrots quite often you suffer with a carrot fly, but once the carrots are in a raised bed, the female fly doesn't fly high enough because it hovers roughly like I think 30 to 50 centimeters above soil level. And this raised bed here I believe is like 75 centimeters or 80 even. So the carrot fly doesn't fly here. So I know when it's time for picking, all of these carrots will look wonderful. There is a lot of fresh green growth in here that look absolutely fantastic. Next to it, this is where I have radishes, and we're going to continue picking in a moment, but I already show you here now. I was sowing all different colors radishes. I already had yellow ones in the upper garden, and here I have purple ones. They are white in the center, and then they have this wonderful color. The yellow ones, they were really spicy. That was a little too much for me, but these are delicious. So I'm trying out all different kind of radishes this year, and that was a good one. So I'm going to pick more in a moment. And here I have Endivia salad, which is also really nice. I thought it was more bitter, but it's all right. So we're also going to pick a little bit later on for a wonderful salad. Strawberries, they're still looking fantastic. Just look at these blooms here. They have a lot of fruit already, so just like dangling down here, it works really well in the container. And then I mainly grew them honestly for these flowers. They're so beautiful. These velvety red blooms make me very happy every single time when I'm here. And then next here, I put some basil in there, which is a dark variety. So I already had a few that I just put in a container, and I was like, oh, germination was quite all right. So I just sprinkled yesterday more seeds in here, and I think probably in a month or so this will be filled with all beautiful leaves. I can't wait. I've never tried or tested dark basil, so I'm really excited to see what I can expect out of this. Here I did a little video with you together. So I have all different things. This is kind of like my little cottage garden area here. So I've got even some sunflowers there. I've got sweet peas just growing there. I've got some other beans here in the front. I've got aubergines here, and aubergines, they are flowering, and these blooms are incredibly pretty. If you look at them, ooh, look at that. Isn't that adorable? They were meant to be for a balcony also because they stay on the smaller side, also the fruit. And I was like, yeah, I would grow that in a balcony. That's nice. My tomatoes that I put in here, there's some flowers, there's some already really fruit on here. So I'm really happy with this entire area in general. I've got Brussels sprouts here, and then I've got my first kale here. They are going to be with dark leaves, so really nice and ornamental. So I think in general, I'm really happy with the top terrace. What we're going to do now is I take you with me to the second terrace and give you a closer look at what I grow there. We're now standing on the second layer of the vegetable garden, and just here in between like two little basket weave fence sections, I have a grass, and I put 3 roses earlier on in the year with you. This is blue for you, and it is truly blue. They just opened 2 days ago, and look at these blooms. That is really a wonderful violet color rose. I'm totally in love with that. It's scented beautifully. So just doing some weeding in here. In the morning hours, this entire area was filled with a sweet perfume of these roses. It was beautiful. But what I want to do is show you what this entire situation here is. So in the first row, I planted potatoes, and I can tell you the tiny ones that are called Drillinger, my very favorite variety. This is pretty much what you see here. As always, germination, but like they come with a lot of shoots, they start flowering, which is really good because when you see that your potatoes start to produce blooms, this is when you know that they start forming the potatoes in the ground. The purple ones that I put in there, I think only 2 came up. That was not so much of a success, but I tried it. You know what? It's always like trying and testing new things. So for next year, I might try a different purple variety or maybe red potatoes. That was also what I thought that might be really intriguing. So if we just continue walking in here, there is a second area where I have all different kind of cabbages and kale. I've got broccoli, I have red cabbage in here. There is already a red cabbage starting to form up. I've got Brussels sprouts, which will produce purple tiny Brussels sprouts, which is also really exciting. And then the next area here, this is where I'm growing my leek and my onions. And finally, it starts to look like something. In the beginning, I had a little bit of the problem, like, okay, what is an onion, or is it just a weed in the grass? But with onions, you can really easily see it because they are pretty much like spring onions, just like hollow in the inside. So you really have these like hollow tubes. So it's very easy to define. The leek already starts good. And what you should do with leek is just mount it up a little bit because you want to have a lot of the white part. And this is really what I started doing here, to just start really put some soil around these stems so that they don't turn green too fast, so that are really going to have a lot of the white part. The next area here, it starts to get a little bit like mix things basically. This is broccoli that I started from seeds, direct sowing in here, and they came up all right. I had a little bit of resowing, which came up better. So they start looking really nice already. Then I've got sweet, which the leaves have been tackled by slugs and snails. This is something that I didn't know before. But I just checked down below, they look good, and they start to form first little bulbs there. And then also I have a mix of colored beets here, and they are fantastic, and we're gonna harvest them later on. I'm gonna give you a closer look when we're on the third terrace, because then you can really see the fruit. Also, if we just step to the back here, this is where I have my artichokes. They look really well. Can show you also in a second, they have the first blooms already, which is really cute. I'm going to show you once we are on the third terrace. We've got more cauliflower here. Swiss chard already starts to produce a lot of leaves, which is really nice. Then I've got more rocket here. My fennel. I mean, look at that. Feathery, perfect. Again, it has a lot of really nice looking fruit already here. So we can already go in here and start harvesting fennel in a moment, and the sweet corn as well. Now with the warm, hot temperatures, that was just shooting up. You could almost watch it growing. I'm really happy. I've never grown sweet corn before. That was the first for me, and I was like, oh, wonderful. Also the beans. This is my favorite variety of bean. It's called Blauhilde. Need to see where I walk now. It really needs something to climb up. I wish it was in bloom already, which it isn't, but it has really beautiful like purple stems. Leaves are looking very good, and the flowers will also be like in a magenta purple world. And it already conquers the entire trellis that I built here with you. So all overall, I'm really happy with what happens on this terrace here. So what we do now is I take you onto the third terrace, show you how the pumpkin vines are looking, and then we do some harvesting. This is the third and the last layer of the slope, and this is where I grow all of my pumpkin vines and also melons now, because the good thing is like these vines, they sometimes just like start trailing down and they don't know the boundaries. And I thought, you know what, just if you look over there, there is kind of like no man's land. There is a dead hedge and there's no man's land. So if they just grow outwards there, it doesn't really bother anybody. And I thought this is the best area to grow any kind of pumpkin vines. So I have 4 different kind of pumpkins in here. I have got Hokkaido, obviously. I've got Muscata Provence and Blue Doll that I've never tried before, and Baby Boo, which I mainly grow for decoration purposes. In general, germination was fairly alright. Some look a lot better than other varieties already. But what I also did is I put some melons in here. So I have 2 melons, kind of like a honey melon. It was not really labeled, but I just bought something where I could see on the photo that it's going to be a small fruit, because I thought here with the climate on the south coast of the Baltic Sea, I should better be safe than sorry. And watermelons, I was like, don't stretch it. For the first time ever growing melons, just choose something where you feel, yes, this might work. But since we're here on this layer, you can see everything better that grows on the second terrace. And what I do is I have a little harvest basket already, just standing here. And this is the first time of the year where we're really gonna get in here and harvest something. And the first thing that I'm going to harvest excites me a lot, because it is a cauliflower. And the surprising thing is there was one plant that kind of produced 2 shoots, and each of them produces a cauliflower. So the first one is here. This is what we're gonna harvest today. Doesn't that just look fantastic? I'm so happy and thrilled about this result. And the second one, this is a side branch. We just go a little closer. If we look inside here, there is another second cauliflower coming. Oh, that was so good. So what I do now is come in with my kitchen knife and try to cut it as safe as possible to make sure that I don't disturb the side branch, obviously, because I don't want to disturb the second cauliflower forming at all. So this is really sturdy. I'm not sure if the kitchen knife is big enough that I picked for this project here. Yes, it is. Almost there. Yes, I got it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that sweet? First cauliflower that I ever harvest in my life, together with you basically also. I've grown broccoli before, but never cauliflower. And I posted a photo on this on Instagram, and quite some people said, how on earth did you manage it? And I was like, it wasn't really difficult, to be honest. Oh, there's even a slug inside. All I did is I prepared the soil well in winter time with manure, with a lot of fresh soil and with a lot of organic bone chips, because these need a lot of energy, and clearly it worked out fantastic. So first thing in the harvest basket, couldn't be happier about it. Second thing, I don't need a knife. So here are all the different colored beets, and some of them look so big, and what I want to do is I want to make a puree out of these. So this is a white beet. Look at the size here, what a whopper. My goodness. I can't believe that I sowed these like, I don't know, a couple of months ago just, and I can already harvest now, which means that I could start re-sowing, and then I will definitely have a second harvest later on in the year again. I think for puree, we're going to take another one as well. Let's see what seems to be ripe. There's another big one here. All right, there was a telephone. It just decided to make a little bit of a dive, but we continue harvesting anyway. So there is another beet looking also really good. Just get it out of here. Again, a white one. So the red ones, they ripening a little slower apparently than the white ones, which is also really interesting. But look at them. They look so nice. They're going to make a really nice mash tonight. And then the last thing that I'm going to harvest here now is fennel. Oh, that is good. I'll make a salad out of fennel with orange. So like you just slice up the oranges, then with some nice apple vinegar, fresh olive oil, salt and pepper, sea salt and pepper, and that's it. This is all you need, fennel and oranges, and it is delicious. So let's try and find one that looks perfect. So all I do is come in with my knife again and just chop it off here. And this one also produced side branches. Oh, look at these. This is going to be so delicious tonight. Into the basket, and even the green stuff is nice. You can even eat that if you want to. I'm going to use some of those for a dressing. And I'm just going to take a second one here now. Come on. Why not? Perfect looking fennel. I mean, if that is not wonderful, can't believe that I grew these. Entire plant looks fantastic. Definitely need to resow some of the fennel. So what we do now is go up again, and then I continue harvesting a couple of radishes and salad and show you how my entire basket looks. Dinner harvest is ready. I'm so excited that the season has officially started. I remember last year, late autumn, when I picked the first basket of things, I was excited. And this year is even better because I started earlier and I grew so many more things to what I had last year. So what I have is, if I just give you a closer look again, I've got the cauliflower, obviously, different kind of salads. Then I have some borage flowers that you can use for garnish. They're also edible. I thought, oh, they're so nice and beautiful. Obviously the fennel is here. Then I picked a big bunch of radishes, just like all these different colors. I think is so wonderful. I wish that some of the colorful beets were already ready, because I also have some that are like stripy in the inside, like pink and white stripes. But you know what, it is beautiful, and this is the best thing you could possibly have, that you just go to your own garden and just harvest whatever you feel like. And now go into the kitchen and feel, okay, what I'm going to do with this, I already know I'm going to make a puree out of the beets. I'm going to make a little salad. I'm going to make like the salad also with the orange and with the fennel, and then roast the cauliflower in the oven. Just in case if you've never tried it, that is delicious. Just put a little bit of olive oil, sea salt, grinded pepper over it, just in the oven up until it's nice and a little brown on the outside, and it is delicious. That's pretty much a game changer on how to eat cauliflower. So hope you are enjoyed today's video, and obviously I would love to welcome you in my garden very soon again. Take care, guys. Bye.